Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby, I'm with Fitness is Medicine, and today we're going to do another great workout you can do in a small space in your home. Remember to come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go, so maybe do 5 to 10 minutes of walking around your block or up and down your stairs. Get your heart rate up a little and get your muscles ready to move. So similar to the last exercise session, we're going to start on a ball with a dumbbell. We're just going to start with one. So I would say kind of a medium weight on the dumbbell. I'm going to use 10 pounds here, but if you know, maybe 8 or 5, depending on what you have in your house. We're going to go into a bridge on the ball. Again, if you don't have a bridge, you can lie down on your back on the floor with your knees bent and do this same exercise. You can even do it from a bridge, just lying on the floor. So you don't need a ball to do this one, but we can add a little bit more instability and challenge our balance in our core if you have one. So starting with the one dumbbell straight overhead, and I want you to bring it over your head like this, down towards the floor, keeping your elbows straight. So this is a lat exercise, your latissimus dorsi, that's in your back of your large muscles in your back. And this is also a shoulder stabilizer. Really focusing on keeping a stable torso from your knees to your shoulders is a nice flat surface, staying nice and stable. 6. Now, if it's too much to go all the way back here, you can go to about here and stop, that's okay. And also, if you feel like you've grabbed too heavy of a weight, I'd rather have you stop and grab a smaller weight and then just press pause and come back to it. I'd always rather have you grab a smaller one than try to force it through on a heavier weight. 9 and 10. Okay, good. Now we're going to stay on the ball and grab the other dumbbell that matches this one. So this, especially, I would rather have you grab a lighter set of dumbbells for this next exercise. We're going to do a chest fly on the ball again. So we're going to bridge. I've got my dumbbell here. Okay, so we're going to walk back out into that bridge. Now I've got 2 dumbbells, so like I said, a lighter weight here because this is a little bit more challenging. Back up into that bridge. Again, if you don't have a ball, you can do this on the floor, lying on your back with your knees bent, or pulling up into a bridge where you lift your hips up off the floor. So now we're going to start with both weights overhead and lower your arms out to the sides. So we're going to do a chest fly. Really working on those glutes and hamstrings here. 4. Now again, if you feel like you've grabbed too heavy weights, I would rather have you stop. If you don't have any lighter weights, the other thing you can do is bend your elbows and shorten those levers. Shorter levers will make this exercise a little bit easier. Or if you're having any elbow or shoulder pain, you can bend those elbows right out here at the end range of the motion. Nice and slow. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, now we'll slowly walk back up into a seated position. Always make sure your transitions are slow so that you don't get lightheaded. So if you get lightheaded, make sure you take your time in between the transitions. You can press pause on this if I'm not giving you enough time, and then move forward into the next exercise. Okay. We're going to stand up after this one, so make sure you set these down with good form. Bend your knees, bend your hips, and then we'll get the ball out of the way. This one you're going to need just a little bit of space around you. We're going to do some squat kicks. So, like I always say with your squats, I want you to sit really far back. You can make this as large a range of motion as you like, or as small. So you can do a small squat, and then we're going to do a kick. Let me raise my camera up just a little. So good range of motion on the squat, and then a kick. So I'll face the camera, squat back, kick, and we're going to alternate. So we're going to end up doing 10 on each side. So if that's too many, you can stop, of course, before then. 3, So you're having a little bit of a balance thing. You're having to balance on one foot for really sitting those hips back. If you need to, you can do this alongside something for support. Sit back, kick, and that's okay. You can use that if you need that for the balance or the support to make sure you have good form with your squat. I would much rather you hang on to something and have good form with your squat than bend too far forward at the knees. See the difference here? If I'm bending at the knees and my hips aren't sitting back, I'm putting a lot of pressure through my knees. I really want to bend both. So my ankles are bending a little, my hips are bending, my knees are bending, but I'm really focusing on sitting those hips back. Let's do 3 more. Remember, you can do this in a small range of motion. You can sit back, kick, just like that. Okay, good. Try 10 on each side. If it's too much, start with 5 on each side and then progress from there. Okay, the next one is another body weight exercise. We're gonna stay in a really wide stance. So really supported, again, not a squat, but an athletic stance. So your knees are bent, your hips are bent, you're ready to move, right? An athletic stance, you're ready to move. We're gonna do some punches. So we're gonna go up, up, down, down. So we're punching diagonally across our body, and I want it to be explosive. I want it to be a good bam. So we're punch it out there, punch, down, down. 2, up, down, down. 3, up, down. 4, up, down, down. 5, give it a good explosive punch, down, down. 7, I'm kind of shifting my weight a little bit back and forth. So it's a, it's a full body movement here. Down, down. 9, down. 10, down, down. Good. So I'm kind of moving back and forth as I'm punching, but I want that to be an explosive movement. If punching overhead hurts your shoulder for some reason, punch straight out and then punch down. You can alter your motion to make sure that you're not doing something that's going to hurt later. Okay, when you do those through on the second time, start with the other hand. So we just started here. Next time, start up here. Challenge yourself to mix it up. Then on the third set go around, try to start punching on either side down. So start down, down, up, up. So just mix it up. I really like working your brain on some of these as well. We're going side to side, mixing it up, making you think, and kind of working lots of different facets. Okay, now we're gonna lower to the floor. So lower this back down. And we're gonna do double abs. We've done these in the past, but remember, like I say with all of these, when you're lying on your back, start with your feet flat on the floor, your arms down beside your hips, and you want to think about flattening your back to the floor. So it's a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt or a TA squeeze. All of those things result in flattening your back to the floor, and that's the easiest way to envision it, is you're going to engage your abs and get that nice flat back to support your back so that it's not engaging here. So arms overhead, we're gonna bring your hands towards your knees. And then when you come back out into this position, don't quite set your feet down, but really focus on engaging your core to keep that back flat to the ground. Now, the further in you keep your knees bent, the easier that will be. And if you do have back pain, I encourage you to keep your knees as bent as possible. But if you're finding that you want a little more challenge, you can straighten out those knees a little more, make yourself really long. Breathe. Keep that back flat. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, then you can really just kind of stretch out. Really get nice and long at the end, stretch it out. And then we're gonna come back up to standing. So take your time, come up to seated position, slowly get back onto your hands and knees, and make sure that you're not going to be dizzy. especially in these summer months if you might not be drinking enough water, or different things can make you feel lightheaded when you transition. So make sure those transitions are slow enough that you don't get lightheaded or worse. Okay, now we're gonna stand back up, so remember to use good form for your stand. And then we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do a balance challenge. So I'm gonna have you grab a small ball, or maybe like a tennis ball or a golf ball or anything you have laying around the house. It doesn't have to be anything special. If you don't have a ball, you can just use, a wadded up piece of paper, or lots of different things you can use. So I'm gonna have you try to stand on one foot, and we're gonna do a tossing the ball back and forth. Now, if one foot is just way too much, try a tandem stance. So one foot in front of the other, and try to catch the ball, just back and forth. If tandem stance is too much, start with a staggered stance. So one foot, that's a narrowed base of support, but it's a little bit staggered, so you have a little bit extra support there. So wherever you are on that balance continuum on your challenge, the other thing is we'll do about 30 seconds on one foot and then switch and do about 30 seconds on the other foot. So I'll time it from 30 seconds here. You can play catch with a friend if you're exercising with a partner or a friend, which is even more challenging. Here is quite easy, so your focus is really close. The further you throw that ball out, the more you're going to challenge yourself. And when you're watching that ball, it's changing your proprioception, it's changing where your gaze is, and it's going to be more challenging. So, like I said, try a tandem or a staggered stance if that single leg stance is just way too much. Or sometimes you can do the single leg stance on one foot, but not on the other. So challenge yourself if you can do it on one. And that's been over 30 seconds. Okay, so go through these 2 or 3 more times, or 1 or 2 more times, whatever you have time for. And if you want to add some cardio in between and really make it a full workout, you can go walk around the block, come back and do another one, or go up and down your stairs a few times, come back and do another set. Or if you've got exercise equipment in your gym, go ahead and use that. So whatever you do, just keep moving and keep pushing yourself in a safe place, and please let me know if you have any questions. All right, thank you everybody. See you next time.